over a building you've entirely, what is it in Portland? You've entirely vandalized, and you've committed arson. You've beaten up Jews at UCLA. You've knocked women unconscious. Oh, we want to give you space to... No. Now this is happening.
Hey, you want to be tough? Find out.
It's just, are you supporting police state? No. I'm supporting a state. How about that? I'm supporting having an actual state where there is rule of law. These kids, they're just they don't have any money. Just cut off their supplies. Go in, take them out, put them in the corner, put them in jail for crying out loud. Is it just me? Comment below. Hit the like button if you just want to see some hippies put in a paddy wagon at this point. These are the pathetic San Francisco retreads. And, oh, no, we have to... No, look, you want to sit down, you want to protest? First off, I recommend you do it in January or February. You never will. I don't know if you noticed, this conflict was going on for a long time, and they just decided to go out and they disrupt everybody's lives. Just treat them like you would any other unlawful citizen, any other rioter. Oh, police break through a barricade. How effective can their barricade be? The college library, for God's sakes. All right. Lot to get to. We'll be talking about this today. The pro-Hamas protests have been getting violent across the country. But not only that, we actually had Mud Club undercover at one of these protest rallies where they were placing banners above overpasses in the state of Texas. And we've done some digging. We've noticed that you've heard of the term AstroTurf. You know where the money comes from. It comes from terrorists. It comes from Qatar. But there are actual people who, you know what? That's what we call a tease. That's foreshadowing. Also be talking about Military Appreciation Month, everything we're doing here at Mud Club. We thank you guys so much, all the new Mud Club members. We are gearing up for this election, and please keep it going. We'll offer a discount, and I believe it's actually this month, it's 10%. Yeah, 10% of all Mud Club signups will be going to veterans charities, and we'll be featuring them here on the show. We're also offering $10 off. So $10 off Mud Club and 10% of every single new membership. Enter in the promo code military. Hey, it's one thing to bitch about all the LGBTQ, AIP, and sure, you can. It's funny, but there is a month for our military. No one talks about it. It's not trending. At least it wasn't when I got up this morning.
I didn't even know it was a thing, honestly.
Let's call it Marine Visibility Day, or whatever it is.
Yeah. This should be one of those things that everybody knows. Everybody should know that May is this, and everybody should participate in some very big ways. And corporations around the world should change their logos to make sure that they show military appreciation, meaning our U.S. companies that operate overseas that change for the LGBTQ stuff. Right. They need to change their stuff as well. Like, if you're going to give it to gay people who just want to walk in the streets with a penis hanging out of their pants, I said a really bad word there. I got really close. Yeah.
Really? I think penis was more effective.
Penis is they want to do that, they have to do it for this. Come on. These guys are the reason that we have a country in the first place.
Absolutely. And by the way, if we haven't already done this yet, it's a live show. We do this without a net. So if you're watching on YouTube, at some point today, you'll probably see this. That means head on over to Rumble. We don't self-censor. We just try and not be banned from YouTube. But you watch on Rumble, there's never a dump button. It's a live show. Every weekday, 10 a.m. Eastern, you can watch here or on Mud Club. Number 2, Captain Morgan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm recovered from my shirtless night.
That's right. We have that Photoshop? Send the Photoshop.
I've done some Photoshop, so nothing flattering.
You lost that.
Sounds like you got a tramp stamp.
I did, but it was a technique thing.
You also have hairy traps. And, of course...
Don't remind me. You're making me horny.
Oh, jeez. We have, in the studio, when you hear this, you know them. You love them. And it's Military Appreciation Month, so we appreciate him. You thank him for his service. Mr. Josh Firestein, how are you, sir?
I'm all right. I'm good.
Are those lemons on your shirt?
Yeah, dude. You like this shirt?
Yeah.
I think this shirt says, I do cocaine in the morning.
It does say that. Yeah. It's actually kind of, I love I do cocaine always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird.
Yeah, it's coming back. I know everybody was, some people were really upset that I shaved my beard. They're like, God, I don't want to look at it.
Oh, wait till they see what we did with your shaved beard.
Oh, they'll love it.
Yeah, they'll love it.
They'll love it. It was for good cause.
We shaved everything. You shaved everything except for here, except for just in here and here.
Oh, no.
That's the one part that wasn't shaved for some... Take a guess if you can see what's coming down the pipe.
Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, it was a fun day.
Yeah.
It was.
And a peace symbol doing somersaults.
By the way, Gerald, complaining about people walking around with their penis out of their pants, that just explains the barracks.
Yes. Yes.
It's a Tuesday night.
Which we very much appreciated.
Yes.
Also, before we get to anything else, look, this is something that I've watched this morning on CNN. We watch CNN so that you don't have to. I know MSNBC is fun because you get to watch them, you get to rebut them, but CNN still tries to actually present themselves as objective. What bothers me more than the lie of objectivity is the Republicans they trot out. First off, they have a whole tier of people. They have the former Republicans, right? They have the Navarros, the S.E. Cup. I used to be a Republican. Really? Name me one policy. Taxes? Shut up. So we see this here today. This man was talking about the election on CNN. And I want you to watch where this man brings up the issues that actually matter to most Americans right now, according to all polling available. And the woman immediately claims victim status, says that this is offensive to women who want to have abortions up until and including birth on demand, period. And then he backs off. Look, if you do this, you lose. If you handle your arguments, if you handle the debates, the national conversation this way, you will lose. So let's go right now to CNN, a beacon of open dialogue where Michael Chiklis debates old rogue.
Well, look, it's obviously a tragedy for people who have to face these issues in real life. But as Harry pointed out in the numbers, if you look down the list, abortion is, and I know Maria doesn't take, she has a different opinion on this, but abortion was way down there, way at the bottom. And even people who thought it was an issue, only 23% said that vote.
Well, she knows better.
That was a sole issue.
Here it comes.
The economy and the border were much, much higher.
I was going to say, so here's the problem with what David is saying. When you
It's true.
When you treat abortion as a kind of side issue that is not that important, that is incredibly insulting to women who feel like Republicans are taking away their rights and freedoms, and they feel that way because Republicans are taking away
Let her have
their
it.
rights and
Let her have it,
freedoms.
Chiklis.
Yeah, Maria, I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just reflecting the numbers that Harry
And the
put up on the
back
board. I'm
Well, you know
I'm
what?
talking about
Sometimes numbers
facts.
are wrong.
These are just the facts.
Oh, here you go.
It's just the facts. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just giving a recitation of the facts, and we're just presenting.
There's my airtime.
I'm just dealing in reality. I'm not trying to, attack anybody or minimize anything.
I'm not trying to insult anybody, just you. If you stopped voting with your snatch, maybe you'd be able to understand where I'm coming from.
Sometimes numbers are wrong.
I love the
Sometimes,
defense.
like my weight.
I love it.
When I get on the scale, I say no.
Just do it in kilograms. It makes it feel better.
Yeah.
I love the defense. I love the sometimes numbers are wrong. And it's like, if you have a problem with that, his comeback should have been, take it up with the people in the poll, lady.
Yeah.
I'm not the one who said it. I'm looking at this and going, it's down the list. I literally said, there are 20 things. Abortion came in 19th. I can't believe you're being dismissive.
I can't believe you're being dismissive.
What's on the screen?
Of what matters to me. Well, right now, you have Officer Slutsky, King Slutsky, that's her actual name, by the way, King Slutsky,
It's the best police.
Columbia. What matters to her is being able to protest, to destroy property, and demand that the administration sends in food. I don't really care what matters to you. It's not at the top of my priority list. And by the way, I'm not saying you'll have these feminists who come out, and even women on the right who say, you're going to lose women if you imply that I'm not implying that she's a whore. I'm not implying that everybody out there who supports abortion is a whore. But when you say this is my single biggest issue as it relates to voting, because you're discussing this in opposition to a 6-week ban in Florida, right? That's the catalyst for this. What you are saying is the most important issue to me is that if I find myself in a situation where I have not planned accordingly, not been careful with my sexual partners, not used contraception, and at a certain point find myself in a state where I also have not verified the fact that I am pregnant after 6 weeks, I demand the most important issue to me is that I don't have to be accountable for those decisions at any point. That's what you're saying. It doesn't mean that you're a whore. It could happen. It could be one partner. It could be two partners. However, you making that your raison d'etre does make me think that you tend to focus, I would say in a way that's disproportional, on your snatch, on your vagina. Don't vote with it. What do you have, a Muppet hook coming out of that thing and pulling the lever?
Her number one issue should be her 5 o'clock shadow.
Yes. That's because she kissed Cyclops.
Well, everyone knows mutants,
Yes.
they wait.
Anyway, you guys can comment below. And also, I would like to hear from you. Which military charities would you like to see us support the most going through Military Appreciation Month? We here at Mug Club, you can bring this up. We want you. We need your help. That's why we're providing the discount $10, promo code military. Look at that. That's pretty fun. And 10% goes to military charities.
And by the way, normally when we have promo code military, we've said that in the past for people who are active members or people who have served in the military. That's not the case this month. This month we're using promo code military. Everybody can use it. Click the link in the description as well to autofill. And we just make your life easier.
Yes.
Do it. I would say you're gay, but I don't want.
Don't do that. Don't do
I don't
that.
want to.
Don't do that. We don't want to lose.
Can I say the other word? The F word's coming back, right? But the other F word, the three-letter F word. You know, like for a
faggot?
well, no, I was going with the abbreviated fag version.
Yeah, I prefer faggot. So, I'm sure we're going to, it's totally relevant because don't tell. We're going to be highlighting some inspiring from veterans here in this country. Today, U.S. Navy Lieutenant Paul Johnson ran 3 miles. 3 miles. Ran 3,000 miles.
3 miles. All right. Hey, that's good for the Navy. That's awesome.
5K. 3,000 miles across the United States from Santa Monica, California.
Oh, hold on. We only have a stinger for this?
Yeah, we do.
We have a stinger.
Well, then do it.
That's what I said.
I love the smell of technical issues in the morning.
That's pretty cool.
That is a pretty cool stinger.
3,000 miles. Lieutenant Paul Johnson from Santa Monica, California. And I thought to run away from the people in Santa Monica, but then he was running to Times Square, but we still appreciate it.
On March 1st, 28-year-old Navy Lieutenant Paul Johnson took off running in Santa Monica, California, heading east for New York. Since then, he's gone through 13 states, running more than 3,000 miles on foot to conquer the famed transcontinental.
On the feet.
He ran using his legs and feet. Also, we believe that he perhaps took some pit stops for food and water. As we understand it, Homo sapiens need sustenance or they may starve to death. Bob? They have to take it's got to be such a tough job in local news. He ran, which is an activity that one performs both as a pastime and to evade police officers, depending on context.
Which is similar to a walk, but at a faster pace.
I believe so. It's not to be confused with a jog, which splits the difference. Back to you, Tim. They have to go with a straight pace. So he completed the run 51 days, 2 hours, 54 minutes, and impressive 29 seconds. I don't know why they measured the seconds at that point.
Well, is it for a record or something?
The record was 42 days or something, so I don't see the point of keeping track of the seconds. But it is it is exact, right? So
yeah, good for him. And by the way, we also have footage of the moment he finished his race.
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
Well, I don't know how else you expect it to end.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he wanted to keep going. Like he set his goal and he made it.
He set his goal and he made it.
How did he get home though? No.
We believe that he took a vehicle which was likely motorized. Back to you, Tim.
We suspect it had 4 wheels and a couple axles.
Perhaps wings or a railroad.
Have you watched local news lately?
It's just unbelievable. It's so hard. And then people say the golden age of journalism. All right. Nope, didn't happen. Speaking of journalism not taking place, what do you know about these pro-Hamas rallies across the country? I know if you've been on Twitter, you've seen that it's gotten violent, sure. But here's something I want you to keep in mind. This is all predicated on a lie, right? It's predicated on a lie as an excuse to commit violence. We saw this with the occupiers. We saw this with Black Lives Matter. You can go back to Mike Brown. Hands up, don't shoot. That was a lie. And then people were being beaten up and killed in the streets, and literally killed in the streets. You can see David Dorn, what happened there. Yeah. And of course, you had the Summer of Love. This is what happened after Black Lives Matter, and most of the time you find out that these stories are not what you were force-fed in the beginning. And right here, the lie is that this is organic. It's not. Remember when Nancy Pelosi accused the Tea Party of being AstroTurf? This is absolutely funded from the top down. We've covered that. You can check the link in the description for the references. It's largely funded by Students for Justice for Palestine, right? Qatar is the single biggest contributor to higher education here in the United States. You follow the money trail, you see what is happening. This is not just a bunch of students who are kind of inspired. There's a reason they're doing it now. There's a reason that they are being violent. And there's a reason that they're being given quarter from, depending on the municipality, state governments, city governments, and not enough is being done about it. Okay? Let's go through exactly what's been taking place and let us know if it's happening in your neck of the woods. I don't know why I sound
Is it weather? Are we doing weather now?
In your neck of the woods.
Didn't know we had that team.
We need a little delay there, and then the reporter not knowing what's going on.
Well, it appears to be cold. Bob, back to you. Thanks. So the NYPD, they finally arrested few people, I think dozens, on Columbia campus after the student protesters that they actually seized. And I hate even saying this. How can student protesters seize anything? They only get to seize what you allow them to seize. They don't have any money, and and they don't move quickly enough. It's not the football team. They seized and occupied Hamilton Hall, and then, of course, they ended up being arrested. Good, but this is too late.
What is that?
It's the ladder truck. See?
Give me a ladder truck.
You know, I can see you doing that. Look at that, bro.
That was fake.
Just like this, watch.
Now watch this guy. He's laying down like his daddy goes, oh, wait, no one gave you attention? Right back up. Right back up. And I guarantee you, if it was not for you and your iPhone camera and this being out there, that would be front page paper, just like that little daisy in a rifle. That really, if what you wanted to see was that daisy be blown through her palm or his palm, whoever it was at that point in time. They tell you that this is back in the 60s, back in the 70s, back during the hippie era, we were really getting something done. That's what they want to tell you. No, everyone hated them back then too.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. And of course, the leftists, right, and their sympathizers, they had a meltdown that non-violent protests were being quashed. Let's go through some of the claims and the truths here. I just can't. Just remember, this has always been the case, guys. What I want you to do is reset your brain and not go, well, I guess now they've gone too far. That's what happened back in the 60s and 70s when people said, maybe we're getting something done. Oh, yeah, I spit on a vet who came home and had no choice.
Yeah, it was drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly those guys in the wheelchair really hated them.
Yeah, I'm sure JFK and Nixon finally heard you. So let's go through the claims that they're making. We provide all the references at louderwithcrowder.com. There's something bigger at play here. Here's a claim that the mayor and the university escalated this whole thing. This is from AOC, her Twitter. She said, if any kid is hurt tonight, responsibility will fall on the mayor and university presidents. Other leaders and schools have found a safe, de-escalatory path. Hold on, pause.
Yeah.
What you mean is the schools who have allowed you to behave as criminals? Because I remember everyone was furious when at UT they actually had authorities come in and say, no, you can't do this, and move them out of the walking paths where students could get to their actual classes. What they mean de-escalatory is let us do what we want. Right. Remember Maxine Waters? Give them space to destroy. Remember Kamala Harris saying they won't stop, nor should they stop. De-escalatory path for AOC means you do nothing, lay down and take it. This is the opposite of leadership and endangers public safety. I would argue the people actually endangering public safety are responsible for endangering public safety. She said it's a nightmare in the making. No, that's people in your district. She even went as far as suggesting that the NYPD use their newest special ops unit to de-escalate the situation. You know I know. So
That'll work. The head roll was where it got me.
here's yes.
Like, oh, bam.
I get it now.
De-escalation.
I shouldn't commit arson.
And the cartwheel.
Here's the truth. The students started it, and they started it with crime. And not just the students, but the funding, non-students as well. These protesters started it, and they started it violently. So let's go back to just Tuesday in the morning. Protesters seized a campus administration building. Seized it.
Aw. It's first window breaking.
It's hot in here.
To be young again.
Did they not have to break the glass?
I don't understand.
The lock.
Just please send in 1-0 line with shoulder pads to hit that barricade and watch them all go flying.
Why are we cheering?
Gotta have a drop circle. I thought it was in 1995, but it is.
Yes, the infamous Hamas drum circle. That's how they solve it.
Just the drums of war.
Yes. Okay. And by the way, a facility, we can't confirm this, facilities worker there even said that protesters held him hostage. I don't know that it's true, but it's very on brand.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart strategy. In fact, while we're on the subject, I just wanted to say that I'm currently demanding that you guys stop thanking me for my service. And until you stop, I will continue to hold this man hostage.
What? No, absolutely not. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for service.
All right, well, can you get back in my trunk then?
Yes. Just get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So bye.
Well, I tried.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for service.
They're even hosting, just to be clear, on this campus, not just students. They're hosting, I know what you're going to say, hyperbole. No. Actual terrorists. So, bring up collage, there are three. This is, you have there, I believe that's the wife of Sami Al-Arian, and that also, that person, Al-Arian, tweeted this photo out there. And in 2006, Sammy, good old Sammy, pled guilty to conspiracy to provide services to Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Yeah. 2006, pled guilty, conspiracy to provide services to Palestinian Islamic Jihad. That's the wife. They just figured that out. It attracts the very best of us. Probably getting their undergrad.
Jihad's a good thing.
I'm not entirely sure. They say it means like struggle to self, but then again, they blow people up if you ask questions.
Is it like Arab for junior?
It could be. It could be.
No, I think I'm off here.
Like Gerald Morgan Jihad. Meanwhile, whoa, at UCLA, there were no cops. Let's see how that goes.
It's just Katy Perry. She's doing a concert. Splitter! Fucking loser. Oh, my.
Police, if you show up, you will be responsible for the violence. That's a Jewish woman who was knocked unconscious. That's what started what you saw just a minute ago. Well, here we go. Well, locking his room. Yeah. You guys saw it earlier that we were in there at one guy, and they allowed them here. They say they're part of it. So apparently, no free press here. It is.
You don't want the best of media.
Yeah, media. Couple of points here. What they do is accuse you of doing exactly what it is that they are doing. When they say you were after her, guess what? They are after her. We have Marco Undercover exclusive, by the way, in Texas, where we will be following some stories here that kind of shocked us. We fell ass backwards into it. Absolutely after her. Notwithstanding the terrorism funding that you know about already that we've covered. When they accuse you of being aggressive, that man is right there simply trying to exercise his First Amendment right, like freedom of the press. No. They are the ones who are clearly aggressive. When they say the cops are responsible for the violence, what they really mean is clearly they're responsible for the violence. If we didn't have an A/B test of police officers, okay, they're arrested, less violence. Places where there are no police officers, like UCLA, it only gets more violent. They escalate it themselves in the absence of police. They accuse you of doing exactly what it is that they are doing.
Yeah. Well, just to give the timeline there, so that Jewish woman got knocked out, and then Jewish protesters basically showed up because of that. Not just the people that were there before. There were definitely counter protesters before, but a massive amount of people started showing up because it's like, hey, if you're going to start physically being violent, we're going to make sure we have enough people there. And then you saw it became two factions, essentially warring on campus with police just off frame. Yeah, most people don't know that. There were tons of police officers just off frame saying, hey, we can't do anything until we're asked to do it on the university campuses.
Well, I will say this. I don't see a lot of the counter-protesters warring with police. I don't see a lot of Israeli flags and American flags warring with police. As a matter of fact, almost to the decimal. Let's go to another claim here. And this is what they'll constantly try to... None of it's true. They'll try and tell you that history is going to look fondly upon these protesters as we do upon the protesters of the Vietnam era, which is also untrue. None of it is true, just like the idea of the golden age of objective journalism. It's never existed. So this was tweeted out, to which Jack Dorsey responded, which is why I need to read it. Hal Klinsky tweeted out, Iraq war protesters were smeared and hated in the moment. Same with Vietnam war protesters. Today, anybody with a functioning brain realizes they were 100% correct. The conventional wisdom was dead wrong. The fact that people don't see this is exactly what's happening now. It's astonishing. And Jack Dorsey, former CEO of Twitter, now X, responded, yes. Okay, do you know how you know that's not true? You know who was opposed to the Iraq war? Matter of fact, the only candidate who was opposed from the beginning, Donald Trump. He's been anti-war since the beginning. and he didn't have to be violent. He's seen as someone who supports our military. You can be someone opposed to the war. You can be someone opposed to a very specific conflict and also be supportive of the military. That's not what those protesters did, and certainly not back in the era of Vietnam. Of course, I understand that you could be opposed to Vietnam. I don't think that these two positions can't be held at the same time, but here's the truth as it relates to the facts. And I mean, this is why we provide all of these references for you. No one liked them back then. There's a 75% disapproval rating of these protesters and disruptors, and only 1 in 10 blamed the National Guard for what happened at Kent State back then.
That amazes me.
1 in 10. That means that if only 1 in 10 blame the National Guard, that means that the remaining 9 out of 10, you probably saw at least 3 to 5 say, like, yeah, they should have opened fire on more. Doesn't mean it's right.
No, but I can't believe that the sentiment was that way, because I think those people, the protesters, the people that were the hippies, have gotten into positions of power within the government, within education, within the media, and now have put this picture out there that they were the virtuous ones all along. And most people just kind of go, well, yeah, I wasn't there and I don't really know much about it, but everything I see shows that. Yeah. And nobody liked these people.
Do me a favor, guys, and you guys can all do this out there right now along with us. Google Kent State truth. Google Kent State myth. Google Kent State debunked. Let's just and see what shows up. You will not find any article other than the virtues of the protesters. Not saying that kids should have been shot, but at that moment in time, after 3 days of rioting and burning and arson and violent crimes, which were documented, people said, well, something needs to be done here, and there's no police force to handle this.
Yeah.
1 in 10 blamed the National Guard for Kent State. That's not the story that you have heard. Let's bring it up. Once you guys run that search, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. And by the way, if people loved them back then, you wouldn't have had the red wave that you saw in the 1980s with Ronald Reagan, the domination that came with conservatives. They saw the leftist movement, and they rejected it. And by the way, all the way into the 1980s, more than half of people told in this country said the protests had no effect. And the top albums being sold in the 60s were show tunes and country albums. You guys think that it was nothing but no, people hated hippies back then, just like they hated disco in the 70s, and they hate these people on campus now. This doesn't represent the vast majority of America. It represents the entire DNC. That's the difference now. Every single person in this party has to support them to some degree. That's the contract.
Yeah, and I think that the interesting thing here is that you can have Americans be split on war and be split on war in specific countries. It's really, really hard to support terrorists.
Yes.
And they're walking that line and they're doing it. People like AOC will run out there and say, these are my people. She went, I don't know if you saw that, the footage of her going to the protesters at Columbia University and walking amongst them and shaking hands and doing that stuff. It was basically just a glorified photo op, and then saying, the blood is on your hands. You're going to be held responsible for this, Mayor Adams and the presidents of this university. I don't understand. Never mind. I do. At this point, I definitely understand.
How about it starts with the people who say from the river to the sea? What is that? From the river to the sea means all of it. Someone there just says, we don't want to push all the Jews into the sea, do we?
Just no, of course not. Just we kill them, and then we don't push them into the sea. We just eradicate them. It's kind of part of the charter.
They've never told these people to go home. They've never told these people, mission accomplished, you made your voice heard, now you have to obey the law. You've been warned, you've been told. That's where I was going with this. Like, the political elites on the left just co-opt your movement, right? They do not care about you. She does not care about Palestinian protesters at all. She just wants your votes, and she wants to look like she is virtuous, and she is not.
With AOC. Right. Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, just like they see you doing exactly what it is that they're doing, just know, just look for these signs to identify BS that's coming your way. If anyone on the left all of a sudden points to the flag, they're bullshitting you. If anyone on the left says, hey, First Amendment, you know it's not consistent with anything else they believe. If they say, hey, hold on, I believe in freedom of choice, you know it's just going to be about abortion. If they try and act like I support the Second Amendment, you know that it's BS. If they try and invoke the Constitution, you know at no other point do they support the Constitution. They believe that it needs to be amended again and again and again and changed, or that we should do away with the Constitution altogether. They don't support the First Amendment across the board. They don't support the Second Amendment across the board. And you never, ever, ever see a Palestinian flag next to an American flag on these campuses. When they bring that up, they're about to lie to you. Well, I love my America, and because I love America, that's why, yes, that's right, abortion at 9 months, just like Madison would have wanted, sweetheart. So,
Hamilton, they were in his building.
yes, exactly, the black guy. Also, no one's going to remember these people, or fondly, I should say, not just because they're disruptive, not just because they're breaking the law, not just because they are on the wrong side of history, but because they're idiots as well. Ad hominem, you bet. So this Columbia activist who has the best name, actual name, you would think on college, King Slutsky. Joanna King Slutsky.
Sounds like a name from a Van Wilder character.
Officer Slutsky, she's down on his knees. She demanded, she spoke as a spokesperson and demanded that Columbia brings these protesting criminals food. I like the
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here. To allow it to be brought in, I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students.
Zero.
Do you want students to die of dehydration and starvation?
Well, no.
Or
I think it walks off the clock for vending machine.
Maybe.
If the answer is no, then you can allow basic, I mean,
There's a Burger King across the street. Go avail yourself.
Humanitarian aid we're asking for, like,
Humanitarian aid, she said. They just compared themselves to Gazans.
Watch this, dude. Watch this.
Nobody's asking them to bring anything.
You know what? She can't answer this question. Oh, so they
Do
blocked
not
me.
violently stop us from bringing in basic humanitarian aid. We are looking for a commitment from them if not stopping violence. Wait, well, I don't know what steps we're still attempted, but we're asking for a commitment.
Let's labor in here. Has a single Uber Eats driver been drop kicked? Is there an epidemic of Post-its freelancers getting the shit kicked out of them? For crying out loud, like DoorDash can't access their shit. Come on.
Also, like, nobody asked you to be there. In fact, they explicitly asked you to leave.
I want you to believe there's some pro-Hamas DoorDash driver. I can't get them Jimmy Johns. Just shut up. This is the victim currency. They have no actual war to fight. This is someone who's likely getting a degree that's useless for a job for which nobody will hire and demanding you, the taxpayer, foot to go. Can we find this girl? Let's find this girl and do a profile tomorrow. And see, I'm willing to bet she comes from an upper middle class family, probably mad at her dad, is getting a degree that's useless, and supports student loan forgiveness. It is when you think student loan forgiveness, it is the single biggest wealth transfer to the upper middle class that would happen in our lifetime, because those are the people who need these student loans forgiven. They go in and they get these useless degrees. It's the victim currency. She's trying to create. I think that it's funny, and she's dumb. She also has, again, great name, King Slutsky. And but she's trying to minority report of victim status. She's trying to bestow upon herself a victim status. It hasn't even happened yet.
And to be clear, if Uber Eats didn't exist, she would literally not know how to survive in a major American city with food and water.
Yes, like, but what do I do? And Instacart can't.
These are going to get over that humanitarian aid. Like, what?
Like it's airdropping in. Remember that?
Operation Dumbo? Like, what's happening here?
Remember that? Because it's the same language they use when they say Israel's blocking humanitarian aid to Gaza.